Hi, welcome back to my channel. After a month of drawing from prompts, I wasn't quite sure where to start. But as I looked around me for inspiration, I decided to let the season itself inspire me. I was struck by the beautiful colors of autumn all around me, and I decided to draw this kind of basket of fruit and veg with all the pumpkins and apples and all the things you see that are in season right now. And I think this gives me a good opportunity to review the Ohuhu markers that I got for Inktober, and I said I would kind of give my honest review after using them for a month. So I'm drawing this picture with the intention of coloring it with the alcohol markers and just talking about how I found them over the month of using them. I also thought it would be a cool idea to release this drawing as a coloring page if anyone else wanted to go at coloring it in. So I'm going to make it available for free on my Patreon, so anyone can download it. That is after I finish the drawing and given it an outline. I'm going to try and keep the outline very minimal and crisp and clean, and get rid of all the messy pencil marks, of course. So now the basic sketch is complete, I'm gonna do the outline with a very fine point. This is a Rotring 0.13 pen. Just keeping in mind that I don't want the outline to interfere with any sort of medium that anyone else might want to use to color this. But just be clear enough to show what's actually in the drawing. I absolutely love Rotring pens. The ink is free-flowing, they're refillable, they're easy to clean, and the line width is impeccably even. Now, as I'm doing the outlines, I'm sure you've noticed I'm only outlining the top portion of the veggies inside the basket. I would like to make this basket look like it's woven, and it will be sort of see-through, so you'll see the bottom half of the veggies that I've penciled in but haven't outlined. But in order to get that sort of see-through woven effect, I'm going to do the weave of the basket first, and then kind of add in any sort of outlines of the veg in between the weave, as it were, where you can kind of see through the gaps, and hope to make it look kind of more natural in that way. Now, attempting to draw every single pleat of a woven basket might seem like a tedious thing to try, but at the end of the day, I think it adds greatly to the effect of this kind of autumn nature drawing, and also it's not as hard as it might seem because it's a repetitive pattern, and as long as you keep to the curves and just kind of know where it kind of gets smaller and larger and carry on with the pattern, it almost kind of tells you how and where it should be drawn. So it becomes very almost easy to do and repetitive, but like I said, I think it just has an amazing effect on the overall drawing. I guess what I'm trying to say is don't ever be afraid of trying to draw something that seems difficult, because once you start, you find it's never as hard as it seems. And nothing ever feels quite as rewarding as achieving something that you thought was going to be a difficult thing to try. And I have to say, using a very fine point here came in very handy. I don't think it could have come out anywhere near the same, or I could have achieved the same effect had I used a thicker liner for this. In fact, I'm a huge fan of very fine point fine liners. I think the most common size I have is 0.05. And was it 0.005? Whatever the smallest one is, I've tidied my desk, so I've only left out what I'm using, so I can't grab one and tell you. But I often get, I think it's called a light grey, because they have some of them come in a cool grey and a warm grey, and some of them come in a light grey and a dark grey, but it depends on the make. But I often use a light grey fine liner when I'm working with markers. That way it's basically the color of a light sketching pencil, so once I've done the outlines, they're just there for me to see, and they will not come through the markers. Although for this drawing, because I wanted to make it into a coloring page, I decided to use black because I figured it'd be a lot clearer to see once I photograph or scan this image. Anyway, just a few more corn kernels and this drawing is done. So I'm gonna tidy it up, take off all the extra pencil marks, and then take some pictures of it so I can upload it if anyone else wants to color it in. Now, as mentioned earlier, I'm going to be using my Ohuhu alcohol markers to color this in, and just kind of talking through how I feel and what I think about them. This is the 320 color set, so it's got a good range of colors, and they are very vibrant colors. The markers are easy to use. These come in a brush and a chisel nib. I suppose the main thing I have to say is there is a slight thing about the colors kind of being hard to choose. So there are a number of colors, obviously, with that many colors, but the nibs are inconsistent. So some of them are very kind of soft and some of them are very kind of firm. So basically the soft ones bend more and create thicker lines, and the firmer ones bend less and create finer lines. This inconsistency has been a little bit of an annoyance to me because, I don't know, I suppose I'm used to the Copics and knowing what to expect. When it comes to the colors, there's sort of not enough in between colors to choose from, or to know which color will blend well into another. But this can be overcome by just randomly picking a color that you think would work. Which isn't as reliable, but again, for a set of markers that isn't all that pricey and very accessible, you do get a good range and plenty of choice, right? But you do have to use kind of the swatch cards to pick your colors, because the colors often don't match the caps, so they don't match them well. And the color codes don't often make a lot of sense. I mean, sometimes they do, sometimes a red is a red, and other times it could say R on the cap, but it's actually a blue or a purple. Even though there is a purple range, I don't know why they couldn't have made it a P for purple, but so the color codes are not reliable, the color caps are not reliable, and unfortunately the actual nibs are not all the same, they're inconsistent. But as far as it goes, based on the price and the quality that you get for the price, they are decent markers, they really are. I mean, you kind of get, I suppose you get used to using them. Once you know how to use alcohol markers, same basic principles apply. They layer well, they blend better when they're layered, and the kind of lighter colors work over darker colors, and all the same principles that you get from any sort of alcohol markers. And out of a lot of cheap brands that I have tried for the sake of trying, these are actually good. So I'm not saying these are not good. But I will say that for any videos that have come up before this saying that these are better than Copics, they're not. They're just not. The consistency of Copic markers is just unparalleled. I mean, they're a pleasure to work with, the color codes make sense, and they have a lot of in-between colors that make it easy to choose what to work with. So for example, if you have like B2 and B21, B22, B23, they're all in the same coloring family, so you know that they will blend into each other well. And the higher the number, the darker the color. So B21 is going to be lighter than B22, and so on and so forth. There is a sense of reliability and kind of professionalism about them. But I can't say I can't really complain about these because they cost, I don't know off the top of my head what the actual fraction is, but they cost a lot, by like thousands less than Copics. So just for being accessible for people to use and obtain, I think they are very good just for that. This is just another example of how different the nibs are. So some are really firm, creating very fine points and lines. Some are kind of medium, and some are very flexible, so they bend almost halfway up the brush, and it's really hard to get a fine point with them, but not impossible. It just makes it harder to get fine details. You have to be extra careful. You never really know what you're gonna get when you pull out a marker because they are all just kind of different. This is meant to be an R, like a red color, but it's purple. And this one's meant to be an R, and it's kind of navy. So no telling what you're going to get. You have to rely on the color chart. But as far as it goes, it's not a lot to complain about. So in my personal opinion, these are definitely not better than Copics, but they are good markers. Well, there it is. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more random art. Thanks again. See you soon.